Okay, example number 3. Now guys, this one says write a linear function g. Okay, g. That means they don't want us to say y equals mx plus b, all right, because that is a line written in function form, but they want us to call it g. So instead of y equals mx plus b, it's g of x equals mx plus b. So that's the way they want us to write our answer. But remember, and I'm going to write this in a little color over here, f of x is the same thing as y. We just replaced them. G of x, it's the same thing as y. These are just names for functions. Okay? So, instead of y equals mx plus b, we're going to write it in the form g of x equals mx plus b. Okay. Now, what does that mean? All right, well, let's look at these two pieces of information that they gave us. This first one says g of 0. Wait a minute, it doesn't say g of x. 0 replaced x. 0 replaced x. So I'm going to write this as a point. When x is 0, right? 0 replaced x, so x is 0. Now wait, what does this whole thing stand for? G of x is the same as y. So y equals 9. So when x is 0, y is 9. All right? So if I use that same idea over here, when x is 3, y is negative 6. It's just a different way of writing an ordered pair. All right? So I can change these things, right? G of 0 equals 9. I can change it to just an ordered pair. And I know what to do with that. When I look at this one, well, first off, now that I've got it written like this, I know that I need two things to write the equation of a line. I need m and I need b. Okay? Now, when I look at these 2 points, I can see I've already got b. b is 9. Because when I look at this point, it has an x of 0. And any point that has an x of 0 is a y-intercept. Okay? So the y-intercept there is 9. And I just need to find the slope. Well, I remember the slope formula. Good. That means you learned something. That's what you're supposed to do in school. All right? Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Hey, Mr. C, a real quick question. Why do they put the y's on top? Why don't they put the x's on top? Well, I'm glad you asked, because if we go back to the example before, you're going to see right here, it's rise over run. Rise over run. And if you look at a graph, right, the y is what deals with rise. The x deals with run. So we put the y's on top and the x's on the bottom. That's awesome. I know, it is. It's pretty cool the way it works. Okay, now I'm going to put in my parentheses here because I always like to do that so I don't get mixed up with my signs, right? And I usually go from the one on the right backwards. So I do negative 6 minus 9 and 3 minus 0. You could go the other way. You just need to make sure you go the same way each time. And that's going to give me, I'll scoot down here a little bit, okay, negative 6 minus 9 is negative 15 over 3 minus 0, which is just 3. So that reduces to negative 5 over 1, if you want to put that in there, okay, so we don't forget. So when I scoot back up here, not too far, I want to be able to see my answer. Okay, so the slope is negative 5 over 1. Now, I need to write this, remember, as g of x equals mx plus b. So I'm going to write g of x equals negative 5. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do this. No reason to do it wrong or bad. Poorly. G of x equals negative 5 over 1 x plus 9. Slope, y-intercept. All right. Good job, guys. That's pretty easy. We just need to change it to what we are used to seeing, and that's these things as a coordinate pair. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's these things. All right, it's not going to let me do it as a coordinate pair. All right, instead of g of 0 equals 9. All right, we need to be able to change those to points. Okay? All right, good job.